Hey folks, everything new under the sun. Peace and safety. This is a very interesting one. This is from exposenews.com. The UN General Assembly Uniting for Peace resolution has been invoked. Now, let's take a little read about this. So it was Egypt and Mauritania that tabled a motion at the United Nations calling for the uniting for peace. So this was raised. It says, let me go here. In the absence of a ceasefire, I can't really zoom in on that. In the absence of a ceasefire, this is from the Islamic Republic of Mauritania and the Arab Republic of Egypt to the United Nations, New York. In absence of a ceasefire and in light of the ongoing grave breaches of international law according to humanitarian rights and violations, it says, and I'm reading from the second paragraph there. I wonder if I can make this bigger. I don't know if I can. Let's do this. Here we go. And violations of relevant United Nations resolutions, including resolution and so on and such. The situation in the occupied Palestinian territory, so you can understand the bias this is coming from, including East Jerusalem, particularly on the Gaza Strip, has continued to dramatically deteriorate. As Israel, the occupying power, persists in its military aggression and siege against the Palestinian civilian population, killing and wounding thousands more Palestinian children, women, and men, causing more wanton destruction of homes, civilian infrastructure, forcibly displacing 1.9 million, undermining the access and ability of humanitarian agencies, including UNRWA, to deliver mandates, and impeding desperately needed humanitarian assistance. It is endangering more civilian lives. And it says, making it urgent that the General Assembly convene to address this crisis in accordance with Resolution 377, Uniting for Peace as rapidly as possible. So what does Uniting for Peace say? Well, this was a particular resolution from 1950, November 1950, related to the General Assembly, where they came up with a resolution uniting for peace, and the point of it was to block vetoes by nations, in this case the USSR. It says it came as a response to the strategy of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR, to block any determination by the Security Council on measures taken in order to protect the Republic of Korea against aggression launched against it by military forces of North Korea. So the USSR, was looking to invoke its veto at the General Assembly, basically, and to get around that, to prevent this, enemy country from using their veto, they came up with this Uniting for Peace agreement, which is very interesting. So why are they doing that now? Well, they want to get around the U.S. veto of actions. It says, at the initial stage of the armed conflict in June 1950, the Security Council had been able to recommend to the members of the United Nations to furnish such assistance to the Republic of Korea as may be necessary to repel the armed attack and to restore international peace and security in that area. It says the U.S. can vote against this resolution, but cannot veto it, as no country has veto power in the General Assembly. So interesting, again, that they're tabling this, and this is called Uniting for Peace. Doesn't it kind of sounds like the biblical references to peace and security, peace and safety? Well, in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, it speaks of the coming of the Lord. Sounds like the rapture event prior to the wrath of God, and I believe that's at the midpoint of the 7-year period. We will find out, maybe sooner than we think. But it speaks of the last days. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write to you. For ye for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, so birth pains. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you. We know it, so we know that this is coming. So this is not going to be a surprise to us when it comes. Ye are children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of the darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober. We're told to pay attention, to watch for this. We preppers, we people on YouTube talking about the end of the world and eschatological events, Bible prophecy things. We're doing that because we're told to watch, and so many people in the world are not watching, and they're not sober. They're drunken. They're drunk with the wine and alcohol. They're drunk with the cares of the world. Their mind is elsewhere. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. People are sleeping. They're not paying attention. They want everything to be awesome and to be, they want a regular life. They want normal, but we're living in a new normal. We learned that from COVID, of course. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet the hope of salvation. This is it. We need to have faith, we need to have love, and we need to have hope of salvation, because this is going to sustain us in the last days. We may lose everything. We will lose everything. For God, and this is about the wrath of God, God hath not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation through Jesus Christ. So we won't be around for the wrath of God. Is the wrath of God the full 7-year period, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? I don't believe so. Go read Revelation chapter 12. You'll note that the first part up to verse 12 is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And then it starts talking about the wrath of God coming upon the earth. So I think the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse come prior to the midpoint of the 7-year period. The red line is the abomination of desolation in the third temple, where Satan sits on the throne, declares himself to be God, the ultimate blasphemous event that God will not stand for. And that's when the wrath of God falls. And I believe that is also when we are raptured and taken out of here. So, again, interesting, peace and safety. For when they shall say peace and safety, let me scroll up there, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as travail upon a woman with child. So, the UN General Assembly, uniting for peace, Resolution 377 has been invoked, and no one can veto it. This means that, effectively, in terms of the General Assembly, whatever power they have as a global government organization, an organization that is attempting to kind of rule and manage peace and keep the peace in the world, they are coming. This resolution has been invoked for uniting for peace. Isn't that what happens at the beginning of the 7-year period? The AntiChrist comes and declares, effectively peace for a 7-year period. This is what the Bible foretold, and I think this is very interesting that this is being tabled now at the United Nations. And I think it lines up with end-time Bible prophecy. I don't know the exact order of events. Does the rapture come a little bit sooner? Does the wrath come a little bit sooner? I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I know that things are lining up as was foretold in the Bible a long time ago when it was written, and the books of the Bible were written across, a couple 1,000 years there. And it's just incredible that we are seeing history unfold in real time as the Bible spoke of. Peace and security, the world government, this global government organization, United Nations, the General Assembly, uniting for peace. The Antichrist will come, unite the world for peace. And then I think when we see that happen, then the destruction kicks off. So interesting. Go read 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, and I think you'll be amazed about this. I think the sudden destruction is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse that is coming upon us. And the Lord will come as a thief in the night, but not to us. He will come to the rest of the people who are sleeping, who are drunk with the pleasures of life and the lust of life and the lust of the flesh, and consumed, with mainstream media and with social media and with amusement like Netflix and Disney Plus, and not paying attention to what's going on. Friends, brethren, find Jesus Christ, get saved. Bible prophecy is being fulfilled before our eyes. None of us have the exact timeline of the return of the Lord, but folks, we are getting sooner. It is coming into focus. I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.